In the fishes and basal tetrapods, we will be further discussing about the reign of reptiles. So on the basis of their skull formation and the presence of the temporal foramen, there are three different clades: the Anapsida, the Synapsida, and the third one was Diapsida. So the Anapsida is the early forms such as the Hylonomus, as well as some Permian and Triassic reptiles and the turtles. So the Anapsida, we have discussed about the Hylonomus, and we did see its picture as well, which was not containing any behind the eye sockets. There was not any temporal openings. And then there comes the Synapsida. These are the mammal-like reptiles, and we will be discussing about these later in this topic. And the mammals, right? So these mammal-like reptiles gave rise to the mammals. And the third are the Diapsida, the early groups, as well as the lizards, snakes, crocodile, pterosaurs, dinosaurs, and birds. So lizards, we know that there are many relevant lizards that are present today. The snakes, we know about. The crocodiles, we know. The pterosaurs were the relatives of dinosaurs, which were able to fly, right? So these were the flapping kind of dinosaurs. And then there are the dinosaurs and the birds. So all modern amniotes produce the cleidoic eggs. So all of these were producing the cleidoic eggs. The first two we will be discussing about in this topic, and the next Diapsida we will be discussing in the next topic. So the Anapsida are the turtles and their relatives, and the oldest were the small insect eaters. During the Permian and Triassic, they were developed during these periods, and they were dominating the earth during these periods. So these turtles first appeared in the late Triassic, and one of the typical or the key animal or that we can see in the fossil record is the Proganocles. So here you can see a fossilized snapping turtle with the head, which you can see on the bottom right, and it was present at the Steinheim in the Germany, right? So you can see that if you just look at it, you can see their turtle-like structure, and the head is quite like that we see today. So the second group are the synapsids. The first synapsids known from the late Carboniferous and the early Permian, and the group loosely as Pelycosaurs. These were the synapsids, or these reptiles were considered as the ancestors, or these are being considered as the ancestors of the mammals, the modern day mammals. And they were insectivores and the carnivores. Insectivores means they were insecting mainly the insects. They were eating mainly the insects, as well as the carnivores. That means they were eating flesh. So they had powerful skulls and sharp flesh-piercing teeth. So when we talk about the powerful skulls and sharp flesh-piercing teeth, what comes in our mind? Maybe some carnivorous animals which are containing sharp teeth, as well as the very, very strong skull. Maybe the dogs. So here you can see the synapsids of the Permian. The carnivorous Pelycosaurs Dimetrodon, which you can see on the upper left. The carnivorous Gorgonspian Lycanops. So these are the two organisms which were the synapsid, and these were the present during the Permian period. So the synapsid radiated dramatically in the late Permian as a new clade, the Theropsida. The carnivores were Gorgonospians and the Cynodonts. So the Cynodonts were the newer group, and they were formed during the early Triassic from the Thrinoxodon. So what was Thrinoxodon? The Thrinoxodon was further evolved form of the synapsids. It looked like dog, right? So its appearance was very much related to dog. In the snout area, there were the roots of sensory whiskers. So if we see their skeleton, there were some tiny canaliculi, or there are tiny fenestrations. That means very, very fine canals which are passing through its skeleton. And what are these for? Through these, the nerves are passing to the snout area. Snout means the nose area of that organism. And that means it contains some whiskers. So if the Thrinoxodon had whiskers, that means its other body parts contain the hair as well. So here on the other parts of its body, and it is presumed, right? So we do not know if this organism contained hair. If it had hairs, that means it contained the functions of insulation and temperature control, which is further adaptation into the terrestrial environment. So here you can see the transition to the mammal. So the synapsids further going towards the mammal side. So here in the A, you can see the early Triassic cynodont, which is Thrinaxodont. So you can see that it is pretty much reptilian, but the early Jurassic mammal, which is Megazostrodon, it is much more related, dog-like. Its posture is changed. Its skull is much more pronouncedly mammals-like. So this is how the reptiles have made their transition from the reptilia to the mammals.